Good morning. This video is for my Radically for Jesus channel. If you haven't watched the last one, realize I also have a new channel, Needles and Saws. I'll link it down below. If you are interested, please go and subscribe there. I did just put a new video out there, or at least I'm filming them both right now, and I need to upload them both. Which one I do first, who knows? But there's a new one that's going to be out there too, and it is explaining essentially how this stuff is a slow process for me because of priorities and learning curve. Learning curve is what I want to talk about today, particularly doing hard things. Of course, you all have been on this channel with me a long time, and you've seen there's times I've put out videos fast, there's times I didn't, and some of my videos are learning based, some of them are faith based, all kinds of things. This one is kind of, I don't know, maybe not in the same niche that I've always done. Maybe it is. I have been focusing lately on doing this whole website thing, and I have found I really struggled with doing this site. It has been hard. And it kind of got me thinking on the doing hard things and the tenacity of it. And then homeschool also reinforced that the other day. My daughter, she had been kind of struggling in her math and trying to really absorb the process of the things she was trying to learn. And one of the things that kind of come up, and her brother even came in and helped, and which was really sweet. One of the things that came up is the doing the hard things, and we've been talking a lot about that. And I pointed to the website thing that I have been fighting with, and I'm like, this is hard. It's frustrating to me because normally I can do a thing pretty good, and then if I struggle, I can go out to YouTube, find videos on it. But there's so many things to wade through. Videos that want you to sub or pay for different things, or they're sponsored by somebody, so they're pushing that content, which requires a subscription. And I was trying to do this as little low cost as possible, but it meant more work. Cost versus work, that's how a lot of things are, right? Well, but it was hard, and I didn't know how to do that already, so trying to learn how to do that. I'm not like coding or anything. I think it's just all the various plugins and modifications and all the things that you have to do to get that thing running as a shopping cart and get around having to subscribe to so many services. Because believe me, everybody wants a piece of the pie, and that's, frustrating to do. And then you find out, oh, well, you don't need to do that if you do this. If you download this one, you don't have to do that. And it's just a breadcrumb of bleh, and then you want to pull your hair out. And then doing that when you're trying to do a bunch of other things like homeschool and keep up with your house, and you think, oh, I need to film, I need to do that. We can't fall down on homeschool, that's most important, and we've got to get our meals done, we got to get this, and it gets crazy as a homemaker. And it's like, oh, how am I going to get that done? What about my Bible time? And I'm trying to do better about that. Anyway, so many things, right? The doing hard things is something I was telling my daughter. I'm like, it is hard, and it's okay, to say, this is hard, this is frustrating. We don't want to be complainers, but at the same time, we're humans and we have emotion, and it's okay to cry. It's okay to have a moment. But what's important is that we don't sit down and we don't end up in a self-pity, feeling sorry for ourselves in those moments. You can have your moment of emotion, realize what it is, absorb it, learn from it, and move on. You pull up the bootstraps, so to speak, and find the tenacity that I think is a very, very valuable personality skill. And then you pick up the pieces of whatever it is, and you keep trudging on one piece at a time. It is frustrating. The thing I find super helpful, apart from the Lord, of course, turning these things over to God is the most helpful of anything ever. There's nothing that will top that. As I was telling my daughter, I can give all the advice and tips in the world, but there is nothing that substitutes for God's hand and blessing on a thing. And we have to turn that over, and we have to ask for his help on each and every step. But for the human tips, One of my big ones is a planner. It takes these big steps. Like I had this list I was working on last night because, well, I'm starting to get it down, and it's starting to make sense to me, all the various pieces and parts of this website. Okay, how this works here, what this tool can do, what that tool can do, you need a plugin for that. And it's starting to kind of fall up, make sense in my head. Okay, how do I achieve this kind of page? How do I achieve that thing? Well, now I'm like, okay, now I actually have to organize my stuff, the things I want to list. How do I want to do that? Lists. I am a list person. I know not everybody is, and maybe this tip's not helpful to you because you're not one, but I have squirrels in my brain. I know I can sound completely insane, but if you're still with me after all of these years as a subscriber, you know this. I'm not diagnosed, but I totally think I've got like the ADHD or ADD thing going. So I jokingly call them my squirrels. They run away with my thoughts. I need planners to function. It probably didn't make sense why I went there, but it does. I need the planners. And if I don't use a planner, because sometimes I do get lazy about it, my productivity tanks hard, and I'll just sit and either scroll, whether it's the computer or your phone, and I'll get lost in things. Now, I do like to get lost in learning things, but even that can be a detriment. If all you do is sit around and learn other things, whatever interests you at that moment, then you're not being productive, and you need to have a balance of learning and production. You just do. You got to be able to get things done. And the way I do my best at getting things done is a planner. And by far and large with this whole website thing, I feel like my brain has been scattered at trying to keep all of these mini pieces and parts together. Planner's helping me, breaking off steps into easily digestible bites and going ahead and doing the hard thing. That's what I was telling my daughter with math. You just sometimes have to take this big giant problem and break it into the small pieces that you can understand, and then write down the steps to it, and then just repeat and follow those steps. Find your formula, whatever that is. In her case, it's long division. She's reviewing it, and she's like forgotten it, even though she had learned it. I think it was first introduced in her curriculum about a year ago. But you know how like math kind of backs up and reviews each when you start a new level? Well, she hit that again. She's like, I know I did this before, but I don't remember it. And I don't remember the steps. And it's long, it's hard, it's confusing. I'm like, yeah, we break those steps down and we get that into small pieces that we can remember. And then, each piece really isn't very hard. It's just remembering how to do that. Same with my crazy website stuff I've been working on. And it's the same with a lot of other hobbies. My sewing or woodworking. Woodworking is the newer to me thing and can be harder and can feel very overwhelming at first if I'm trying to learn a new task. Woodworking joints is something I had been working on. And yeah, when they fail and you think, I think I've done everything right. Why is this not coming together? But you just keep going. You break it into small tasks and you keep going and realize failure is absolutely a part of the process. You're going to mess up. You're going to screw up constantly, but you have to keep getting back up and you have to keep trying. I do think there are times when you just have to realize, okay, this thing isn't for me. I don't enjoy it. I hate it. Cut your losses and move on. But if it's a thing you really want to do or you need to do in your life, keep getting back up. I think the worst thing that we can do is sit down and feel sorry for ourselves. It's totally normal to have those cries, but what you can't do is wallow in that. And I think that is a very important thing to remember. Develop tenacity. If there is a skill I think I want to develop in my kids with homeschool, it's tenacity. And the ability to self-educate. Because with those two things, you can do just about anything. Not everything. Not everybody's suited to everything. But you can do so much. You can learn so much. And even those hard skills that feel impossible. I wanted to give up several times on this whole website thing. Can't promise I won't. But I think I'm gonna get there. Little piece at a time. I think I have the breakdown, and I think I know how to achieve now the things that I need to with it. And you know what? I may do all this, and no one may ever click on it or go there and buy. They may keep buying the stuff from Etsy instead of my site. I don't know. But you know what? Even if not, then I've learned a new skill, right? So we're going to give it a shot. And my daughter, she's got her math down. And you know what she said? After doing the other page the other day and finally getting it, she's like, Mom, I don't want to, but can I have another page? She said, I feel like I need to practice this a little bit more because I've got it right now and it's not pleasant. I don't like it, but I need to do a little bit more. And I'm like, absolutely, you know, and I teased her and I shook her hand. I'm like, good job. I like that, your tenacity. So we can do hard things, as I teasingly break it down for homeschool. It's not pleasant to do them, but it's part of the, what's the modern term, adulting? I know people make fun of the use of that term, but I kind of find it funny. We all have to do our adulting, right? And even if you're not an adult, and even if you're a young one, or you're a teenager, or whatever, you have to do hard things. And my encouragement to you today is, when you're at those low points, the worst thing you can do is to feel sorry for yourself. When has there ever been any fruit in that? There's not. Just go ahead, say, okay, I just needed a moment to cry. I'll be okay. Give me the snot rags. Yeah, sorry, I know, gross term, but you know, that's what we call them. Give me the snot rag, and you know, I'm gonna wipe my nose, go take a deep breath, and I'm gonna walk away for a little bit, but don't walk away for forever. Totally okay to walk away, get your bearings, do another thing, get your mind and your heart in a better place, go have a little talk with Jesus, as as the old hymn said. But you got to come back, and on a new day, keep coming at it, keep tackling whatever that thing is. And I know I've been talking about math and division and websites and the things that I'm working on. Last year it was really the woodworking, because very frustrating. But I feel like there I'm getting things too. Sewing, I've ran into that over the years, but I'm, you know, a lot more versed in that one than I am on the other things. Sorry, I have a tendency to look away when I'm looking toward the thing that I'm talking about. Yeah, it's probably annoying on camera. Anyway, whatever that thing is, just do it as best as you can and pick up your bootstraps. Realize you're gonna have your hard moments. It's okay. It's part of the process. My husband always says, enjoy the process. I could probably do a whole video on that, and I very well may. But enjoy the process of learning, even the failures and the mistakes, because even those failures and mistakes, you're learning something. Even with this whole website thing, I was learning as I was screwing up pages or screwing up this, you know, add-on or whatever. It's gonna happen, but you learn with it. And while it's frustrating, you got your emotions, we're human, you just don't wallow in it. So y'all, don't wallow. Have a blessed day.